Hey Islanders, welcome back to another episode. Throughout the series, we've created this really amazing software. But in my opinion, it's a little slow. So what we're going to do today is use the power of threading to take this code from 0 to 60. For those of you that are new to the channel, my name is William McKeon and you're watching Islander Robotics. A little bit about me is that I am an electrical engineer turned computer science, but everything you all see on this channel is stuff that I have taught myself. So if you're not yet subscribed, please do consider becoming part of the Islander community. And with all that being said, sit back, relax with your favorite snack, and let's get started, shall we? Hey Islanders, I hope you all enjoyed that little intro. And like I was saying in today's intro, we're going to be taking this code, which is essentially running at 10% of what our computer can actually do, and turn that to 100%. The way we're going to do that, I will get to in a couple of seconds, but just so all of you know, this video in no shape or form is going to be a full tutorial. Instead, this video is like how all my other videos are, a project log for the project that we're working on in this series. As well as, just because the name of the series is Islander Stock Analysis Tool does not mean in any shape or form I will be giving you financial advice. If I give you financial advice, don't do it because I suck with money. Alright, so with all that being said, what we're going to be needing to do is we're not going to be creating any new module, and we're not going to be we will be creating one new function, but it's really just so that we're able to use one of the modules in the manner that's designed to be used for, which is the threading module. And we're going to be using the OS module so that we can get our full potential out of the threading module. The way we're going to do that is actually we're going to switch over to the method we were working on in last video, which was the price of stock method right here on line 28. Nothing's really changed in here except for what was originally the for loop right here. Where all the information that was in that for loop is now is actually in the speedy method right here on line 56. Nothing's changed really, except all the i's from last video are now index. And the reason being is because of how threading works. Now, before we actually get into the script and how the script works, I really just want to take the time to explain how threading works. And really the first thing you have to think of is that your computer's brain is just like your brain, where you only have access to 10% of your brain at a single time. Your computer only really has access to a specific amount of its brain at a certain time. So when I run this when I run this script that we have over here without threading, I'm only having access to a limited amount of a limited amount of compute power within my computer. All right, and really we can actually push those boundaries by using the threading module. Reason being is because most computers these days have multiple different cores, really anywhere from like 1 all the way up to 32 cores. Sometimes there's even more cores. It just really depends on your computer. And when you tell your computer to run your script without the threading module, it's only sending your script to one core. By using the threading module, you're able to allow each core to have an individual task within your software. All right. So what we're actually going to be doing today is we're actually going to be splitting up the tasks of finding the price of each individual stock inside of our list evenly among all of our cores. And the way we're going to do that, four for loops. Yeah, 4 for loops, and the first for loop is going to be on line 43. Now, what's going on here is actually where we're going to initially split up all the indexes into the several different cores that your computer has. And we're going to do this by just saying length of your list, whatever list you're trying to split apart, divide that to the floor by your os.cpu _count. Now, why we're calling upon this is because this method actually returns an integer value of how many cores you have. And then to make it so that we're not going over the same indexes over and over, we're actually, each iteration of this for loop, we're going to be at I plus os.cpu count. All right. Now, so that each one of our cores now has a assigned value, that's when this next for loop starts. And really what's going on inside this for loop is we're assigning those cores specific jobs. All right. And really the way we're going to do this is we're going to say for j in range of your your core count. And we're going to set our index equal to whatever value. So in our circumstance, we're going to set it equal to the index value of our list at I plus j. So therefore, like I was saying, none of those indexes are getting left behind. In order to actually assign one of our cores a job, we're going to use this dictionary that I have created on line 42 to assign a thread at the key term of whatever that j term is, the string value of that j term. And we're going to assign that dictionary to a thread by saying threading.thread, and we're going to say target equals self.speedy. So the method that we put everything in is actually going to get called upon here. And notice how the method that we're calling upon has no input arguments, but when we defined it, it has two. The way that the threading module works is you do not, in any circumstance, put your input arguments in the traditional way right here. All right, by going like that. That's not how it works. Instead, you're going to notice args equals our input arguments. Now, it is worth mentioning that you have to put a comma after each argument within the args section, especially at the end. Reason being, I didn't make up this rule. It's something that was pre-built into this module. And really, in order to use this method or module successfully without any errors, you have to have that comma like we have at the end of maximum. Like I've been saying probably a few times now, we're only assigning those cores their jobs. We're not actually telling them to start. The way that we actually have to tell them to start is what's going on line 48. Where we're going to use a for loop to individually tell each thread assigned to each key term inside of our dictionary to start. All right, and then once that thread is done or that core is done and it's done its job, it's not actually going to automatically tell our software that it's done. In order to actually do that is much like what we did to tell the threads to start. We're going to have to tell it again, except we're going to use the join method. Once we have defined the join, we're going to be able to have an output file of what we have right now. Yes, this doesn't really look anything too crazy right now, but when we do just say nas dec, it's going to run. Also, I did switch. This software no longer uses Selenium. Instead, we're actually using Beautiful Soup, and it actually works a lot better. But now that we have the CSV file, this is where you're all going to be able to start seeing how valuable threading is in our circumstance. What is the maximum price we would like? We're just going to say 10, and we're going to run the file. And notice how fast this software is going. I mean, honestly, compared to last video we were getting about six answers in 30 seconds. Now we're doing about 20 answers in 30 seconds. But really, honestly, this video was so much fun to create and do research on. And I am so happy I have the chance to show all of you. So go ahead and smash that like button. I really do appreciate it. And another thing that I appreciate and find so amazing is when I see new Islanders become part of the community. So for those of you that are watching that have not yet hit that subscription button, please do consider. It's 100% free, no cost to you, and you would have the chance to become part of this amazing community. As always, if you have any questions, go ahead and leave it down in the comment section down below. And a link to today's code is down in the description bar down below. And I'll see you all in next Sunday's video at 10 a.m. Bye. Happy coding.